All right, but FooL, capital L, we here, we here, we here. We're doing the review stream this evening, and then some rivals after. We got the new season. We're gonna get into that shit. And there's gonna be drops apparently, so that's cool. That's cool. So yeah, we're gonna get into this review stream for those who may be new to it. We used to do a bunch of trailers prior to discuss, but then editing those became very tedious and annoying to deal with on YouTube, so I cut it out. And now we just, do the trailer for the movie and then we discuss. If you want to see any previous reviews, you can check them out on the YouTube. With that being said, as always, we also throw it over to our Cuzzo. Shout out to Track Justice, Shenryo Kuma. We're going to go ahead and throw his music on for the review. But before that, let's go ahead and bring it up, the trailer, shall we? Stream. Here's the trailer. All right, so trailer for Late Night with the Devil. Raise this up. There we go.
We are back in
No
five,
command for that.
4.
There should be a link.
Now, here's Mr. Midnight.
Oh, you're streaming.
Jack
Oh, yeah. What's up, man? We're gonna get into
Oh,
the
good
Late Night
evening,
with the Devil
Night Owls, and thank you for allowing me into your
I'll
living
mute.
rooms once again. Well, Night Owls, we've got a heck of a show in store for you tonight, and I'm very excited for you to see it all unfold before your very eyes. I really hope you love it. Gosh, I hope you love it. Please love it. Please love it.
There's no command.
I'm trying to host a nationally syndicated talk show, and I'm trying to help you keep it on the air.
We all know how important it is to keep our sponsors and affiliates happy, but in my humble opinion, there is only one person who really matters in this whole darn crazy business.
Right?
And that is you, our viewer.
You're meddling with things you don't understand.
Whoa! Now, as you know, here on Night Owls, we think it's very important to keep an open mind. Please welcome Dr. June Ross Mitchell and Lily, the young subject of the book, Conversations with the Devil.
I really don't think it's a good idea, Jack. She's becoming more unpredictable.
That's a good thing. That's why we still do live TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned for a live television first as we attempt to commune with the devil.
Yeah, so Zuma, you might want to come back in 20 years. I mean, unless you don't give a shit.
Lily, can you hear me?
I don't know. I'm gonna dig into it.
Good to see you again, Jack.
Lily, return to me.
This isn't about ratings anymore.
No one's going anywhere.
How could you let it happen, Jack? How could you let it happen?
Please be warned, anyone with young children in the room. What you're about to see is
You okay, Jack?
profoundly disturbing and shocking.
You get out there, Mr. Midnight. And you knock him dead.
Not bad. I shall mute. All right, so that's Late Night with the Devil. As always, we'll have the wiki up for reference, but let's go ahead and show. Shout out to the cousin Track Justice. All these beats are copyright free, and if you're ever interested in any, you can reach out to them. But yeah, so first things first, if you don't know and you're new, we do get into spoilers because this is a review/discussion. And typically, I'm usually picking like older movies that have been out for over a year. It's rare we do like up-to-date reviews or like current ones. That doesn't happen often, which I wouldn't be opposed to it. But at the same time, it gives people time to check it out and whatnot. So yeah. First and foremost, shout out to what is his name, David. Let me pull it up here. David. I got it on the tag. David Malkin. I don't know how you say that, but fucking great, man. He did a great job. I've seen him in other movies. Matter of fact, where is he at here? Let's pull him up here. I've seen him in quite a few of these other movies, like Ant-Man, and again, Bird Box. He was in there. That's right. The Suicide Squad. He was the Polka Dot Man. Great fucking movie. Apparently he's in the Weird Al movie. I gotta put that on the wheel. I need to get that on there. That'll probably be replacing this. Das Malhin. Apparently he was an Oppenheimer. This guy's been knocking it out of the park. Jesus Christ. But yeah, and he was also in Quantum Mania as one of the other things. But yeah, like I said, man, he's been around. He's done a lot of shit. Great actor. But this movie, he was also in Dark Knight. Oh shit, Dark Knight was like one of his first movies. How about that? Look at that. Look at that. Imagine being in like a smaller role in Dark Knight, you know, and then all of a sudden you're a co-star in Ant-Man. You're one of one of the cool characters. Both Ant-Mans, this is actually, and well, all three Ant-Man. You know, he's done well for himself, to say the least. Fucking Oppenheimer. I didn't even know he was in that. So yeah, anyways, great actor. He nails the talk show host role so well. Like, the man kills it. Like, you would think, like, the way he did it, like, he literally was an actual, like, talk show host. Like, just very well done. He fit the role, the vibe, the image, all of it. And I really like that. I like the whole idea of the movie. I like the movie that is basically kind of like a quote-unquote documentary to an extent, or behind the scenes of his pretty much last show, I would assume, on that, ever, I guess. I don't know if, like, if they don't give you any details after, just kind of show you the end of the chaos, and then that's pretty much it. I would assume he's either, taken to jail or, something else. But in any case, it was really cool how they did it. I like it. The visually speaking, they did a real good job shooting it, because it does look, it has that 70s vibe, just the actual visuals and how they actually did the camera work and recording. The work with the crowd, the guests, and just the co-hosts, like it's like, yeah, they really were like, we're gonna make this the realest talk show possible without ever being a real talk show. But the whole idea, generally, as the trailer suggests, it's like he's kind of like trying to make the best show possible, because he's not as great as he once was, which they allude to, in the beginning of the film. Because again, it opens like, they're telling a story, almost kind of like a 60 Minutes Dateline, or a situation where they're like, this happened, and now we're going to take you behind the scenes of the moments that led up to it, and they even say footage that's never been seen before. Like, so they paint it really well in that respect, like you're like watching like almost a new special or something on this crazy ass late night episode of television. They even make the joke that he's, battling against Carson and stuff like that. Like, so they really kind of nail it. And the studio director, I guess, I want to know what his name is. Is that the James Randi? No. Jack's sidekick, producer Josh. This guy, I think this is this guy. Yeah, I think that was him. He fucking. I hated him. Like, because he was, like, the perfect portrayal of a fucking, like, TV producer. Just kind of like, this shit's going to work, we're going to do whatever. And he's kind of a dick. And, yeah, like, he really did a good job. Like, I thought he was going to be, honestly, somebody, like, else. Like, I don't know, I feel like I recognized him, but I don't. I don't recognize this guy at all. He's an Australian actor. Let's go see what he did. We're squirreling off for a second. Sorry. It's a bunch of, stuff from, I guess, across the... Oh, he's got a lot of TV credits. Oh, and theater. He was in the theater. So, yeah, anyways, they get the chaos of being on set on a live, a live actual, production. Like, it's stuff you've seen portrayed. It reminds me of a horror movie. Yes, exactly. And I think that's what they were going for too, like what if scenario, because this is obviously a highly what if. I like them touching on the cult aspect of Hollywood, and fame in general, because there is a talks about that that's why he's done so well, is because he hangs out with these elite of the elite men, and they go to these retreats, and then there's the rumors that they all practice in the occult and sacrifice, and that's what the overall narration and tone is, and so it speaks towards that, which I thought was really cool. The practical effects on some of the moments in the film, they showed, alluded to one, or the beginning of one. You saw the two men kind of facing each other in the chairs. The one on the right, the bald-headed guy, Gus, which is funny because we had a discussion about Gus in the chat the other night, that no man named Gus is attractive, and this Gus is kind of hitting that mark. I fuck around, I kid. But Chuck seemed like a decent guy. He seemed like one of the only decent people on the set there. And, at this point in the film, they're trying to disprove, because you have seen at this point the demon possession, similar to The Exorcist, as you saw actually in the trailer, too. You see that her face gets a little kind of, not gruesome, but a little bit ghoulish, I guess you could say. A little undead. But the classic, kind of Exorcist look, basically. And they have on there a skeptic who's trying to disprove this, and so now you're at this moment with him and Gus, and they have this moment where he hypnotizes Gus to think that, he's got worms inside of him. And, the way they did it, I thought it was really fucking cool. Because practical effects, I don't feel like, at least now I feel like they're making a comeback, because a lot of writers, artists, or directors and producers are seeing that people enjoy practical effects when they're done right, and also to kind of really hit the vibe. Being that this was set in the 70s, it kind of really nails that tone because of the practical effects and the stuff coming out of his body and things like that. So that was really cool. There is still obvious, CGI shit like that in this, for course. But some of the practical stuff, like those moments, I really, really liked a lot, actually. It was really cool. It's you kind of figure it out pretty quickly what the whole thing is. And they show some of it in the trailer, how the possessed girl, Lily, is, referencing Jack, David Dastmalchian. His character Jack, they reference, she talks immediately to him, so you're already the moment they're like, oh, this dude, they were doing sacrifice and somebody got sacrificed. And then they also mention his wife throughout this in the beginning of the movie, and his wife gets cancer, this and that, she ends up passing away. And what's crazy is you're like, huh, that's interesting. And then the moment the demon starts talking to Jack, you're like, oh, you probably sacrificed your wife's health, didn't you? And spoiler alert, we all know that we get into this. Yes, it's further proven later on in the film, basically at the end, that yes, he pretty much kind of sacrificed her health, or somehow in some way, used her to get to his fame. And what's kind of funny too is at first through the film, he's kind of reluctant a little. He still wants to make the best show possible. He wants to use all these things he has at his disposal. But he's still a little reluctant. But then by the end of it, he's kind of like, fuck, I got to do this, but at the same time, fuck. So yeah, really well done. And everybody in the supporting roles. There was also the what is his name? Christou. This guy. That fucking shit, the psychic thing, that was really fucking well done. I liked it. I like those, I like bringing the reality of the time period, the 70s. I like how well they nailed that, because this was that type of shit around that time. I mean, they even show you, everything they show in the beginning of the opening of the movie are all not news articles, but news clippings of all the shit going on in the 70s, from the wars to everything with politics and all that shit. And so, using that as a baseline to kind of bring this film to life, it was really cool. I like how that fit in between everything. But yeah, the vibe was there. Like the only thing for me that felt like, yeah, the satanic and panic, exactly. Like, exactly, it felt true. Yes, 100%. And what was really cool is how the skeptic guy, like most skeptics, was in between breaks trying to talk to people in the audience. There's actually a moment with this Christo guy who has his psychic moment with these people. Now, as the viewer, you're kind of like, I personally was like, I was team psychic, you know, because I was like, I want him to be real because I know obviously this movie's a horror, so, you know, him being involved would be really cool. And, you know, the skeptic on the show that evening, what's this guy? Is this guy right here? Yeah, Ian Bliss. Also, this guy, his name is Haig or Carmichael. Literally goes up to the mother and daughter that the psychic interacts with right like after the segment, and is like asking the questions, like, somebody ask you stuff prior to the show, blah blah, you know, so he can, you know, because that's what they did. Let's be honest, we know these type of things happen. We know that not necessarily all psychics are real at all, if any. You know, some might be. I personally think that some people can, you know, have those vibes on a certain level. How far it goes, you know, that's to remain to be seen, but I don't discount it, you know, because there's always the discussion like, oh, well, you know, if you believe in anything religious, you have to believe in spirits, therefore you have to believe psychics exist because they're all in the same realm. So I definitely believe in spirits and shit like that, so I feel like psychics can be real. Are they to the extent that you see in movies and TV and shit? Probably not. Maybe, I don't know. But I think it's possible. And having him there and all this, the things that happened to him, and spoiler alert, Christo has a moment on, you know, live where he does the classic, which I love how this became a trope, and I don't know how or when. I would like to think it's probably The Exorcist. Maybe it dates back further. But the trope of, excuse me, demon possession and demons and somehow making people vomit is just something. And the way they did his, I thought was really well. Because, of course, you got to have, I don't feel like you can't have a demon possession movie without somebody projectile vomiting. I feel like that's like a check mark that you have to have, like, somehow in that movie at some point, whether the person's possessed or not possessed, somebody's going to projectile vomit. And Christo, they did a good job with this. I feel bad for the character in general and how they did him. It's kind of fucked up. But you know, it was good. It was good. So also the girl who plays Lily, the possessed girl, I swear to God she's from something recent as well. But she's not on here. It doesn't look like. Wait, James. Oh no, she's here. So, I don't know if, like, I swear to God, like, this is, like, I've seen her in something recent as well, and I can't think of what. But she fucking killed it. She absolutely killed it as the possessed girl. Like, fucking murdered it. Like, the way she was, hey, what's up, man? Welcome. I'm streaming. I'm doing the review, so what's up? Appreciate it.
Oh, shit.
You're good, though. You can hang out. If you don't want to be spoiled, though, I'd
For what?
Yeah, so this girl, like, she nailed it. She nailed the vibe, like the eerie smiling she was doing, the proper and precise looking at the camera, like, fucking creepy. Like, she was fucking creepy, yo, like, straight up. And I enjoyed it. Like, I was like, yo, this girl's nailing it. And then when they go into the possessed, moment where she's possessed and everything, just great. Very reminiscent of The Exorcist for sure. I will not discount that at all. And I think that was on purpose to kind of play towards that. I think it looked great. The makeup was great. The conversations, it was definitely tropey, but it definitely was its own. Her IMDb doesn't have much. She does, honestly. Shout out to Bran with the resub.
You too.
But yeah. It definitely, like, she killed it, like, as the possessed girl. So her big moment, though, obviously towards the end, because the demon possessed person always comes and at the end they kind of wraps up everything. The way they did hers, to me, like, had I just caught that part of it, I would have thought more like Alien than I did like demon possession. The way visually speaking, like if this was on TV and I walked in and this is like, because this happens in the last, I want to say like 10 minutes of the movie, give or take, like the way they show her like full on possess or whatever the fuck you want to call it, like legitimately was fucking crazy weird. I loved it, how weird it was, but it to me seemed more alienish. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But that's how I saw it. And that's not a bad thing, to be fair. It just was different than some of the things you normally see in these type of movies. But yeah, was the movie scary? No, not really. Was it creepy? Yes. Especially the last 15 minutes or so, because the movie is decently paced. You feel like you're legitimately watching a talk show. Like you feel like you're actually watching this talk show happen, which was another cool thing. So the film time is not long at all. As a matter of fact, what is it? 95 minutes. So yeah, exactly. Just as long as you would think a talk show would go, with the in-between cuts, like the in-between few minute breaks and stuff like that. Whatnot. So the pacing was there in like some last 10 minutes or so when they're shutting down the show, when they're, he's wrapping it up for the evening. Boundaries start getting pushed, and then shit hits the fan, as they tend to do in these type of movies. Yes, exactly. That's how exactly I felt about it. Like, it felt like you were like in the audience and shit. It was fucking crazy. I don't know who's that. Is that Gabe? I feel like that's Gabe, right? Hey, Gabe. Hey, I'm streaming and I'm in the middle of a review, so if you don't want anything spoiled out of you, I'm talking about Late Night with the Devil, so just a heads up on that.
All right, see ya. I gotta
go. But yeah, so like how they filmed it, how they did that, great. But the culmination of it all, it was pretty wild. So as you saw very briefly in the trailer, like kind of standing with her head open, fucking weird, man. Fucking weird. And I liked it. It was definitely creepy as fuck in that sense. And then they kind of confirmed that yes, he somehow sacrificed his spouse to become who he is, which is fucked up. And also they show you at the very end, I guess she possessed him or was having him trip out balls, and he ends up actually killing her, and basically are left with him just kind of standing there with all this just death, and him just kind of standing like, what the fuck? And that was pretty much it. Like, that's where they ended it, which is really cool. I like the ending. I'm always a sucker though, because I always don't mind like, hey, what about 5 months from there, or does he get arrested? Like, I thought that would be kind of cool, but I understand though, leaving stuff like that is also perfectly fine. I don't disagree. So with that being said, we're gonna go again get into the favorite scene and then score. So for me, my favorite scene actually was when Carmichael and Gus do the hypnosis. Quick scene of hypnosis. Right, exactly. Or even just like how they do in those types of I want to call that like a news report or a 60-minute scenario. They're like, yeah, no, 5 years down the road. I do want to see that. I know it's wild. Shout out to Gabe. I appreciate you, brother. So yeah, like it feels like they could have did that, because they always do that like Nightline, Dateline type shit where they're like, and a year later he was found in prison, sentenced to 20 years, no parole, like shit like that, So kind of sad they didn't, but I understand it as well. Like, I don't hate it. It doesn't really ruin it for me at all. But favorite scene definitely was the hypnotization scene with Gus and Carmichael. That scene definitely was some fucked up shit, man. And how they disprove it right after, I thought was just really cool. And yeah, just the practical effects, like I mentioned earlier, and You know, just how well, you know, everybody did their job there, basically. Um, so, shout out to that moment. Shout out to the movie in general. As in regards to score, I'm gonna give this, for me personally, I'm giving it a solid 8 for sure. Like definitely a solid 8. Um, it was a little jumbled here and there, but not in a, like where it ruined it. But I feel like they could have like to really nail that like almost documentary vibe that they were going for. Is put in like what happened to Gus. Well, Gus is actually no. We know what happened to Gus. Let me not say that. Fucking poor Gus. But you know, mainly him. I think that would have been a nice cherry on top. That would have probably gave me a solid 9. But yeah, great movie. I definitely recommend checking it out. Especially if you like good horror. Like this is what I consider good horror. And if you like, yes, exactly, yes. And I also like how I felt like one of those crowd people were like almost like, I don't know, suspicious. To me, it was like a nice little like throws you off the scent type deal because I was kind of expecting something from one of the audience members, but they didn't, and I think that was on purpose, obviously, to keep you off the scent of the ending. But great movie. Great movie. Shout out to David Malkian, whatever you say that. He did a great job. Everybody behind this movie did a great job. And liked it. It definitely was good. I can see why it has all the high Rotten Tomatoes and you know, all the stuff. Like it's a very good film. So check it out. Late Night with the Devil. Yeah. So that's gonna be it for the movie review this evening. We're gonna go ahead here and get into